Okay, so today I'm going to show how to automate Shodan searches from the command line using their API. And Shodan, as you can see, here's their website. You can search for basically anything connected to the internet. So it can be dangerous. You can search, as you can see here, refrigerators or webcams, anything connected. For the purposes of this, we're going to search for IPs. I'm just going to pick the first one here so we can see what results. And here you can see that it spits out a bunch of different banner information. You can see the services and the organizations associated, the products. So we've got OpenSSH here, and also where it's located, things like that. So this is great. It's a great tool to use, but we want to be able to send in a lot of IP addresses if possible. So for that, we're going to utilize the API. Come to my Ubuntu VM here, and what you first need to do, the API is a subscription, so we bought about 200,000 queries per month, so you just need to initialize it first. Actually, choose first desktop, and then what you want to do is put your API key here, and I've already initialized, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to show my key for obvious reasons. And so once you're initialized, basically I wrote a script that'll cycle through a list of IPs, and for the purposes of this demo, we're going to just do 5 IPs, these 5 right here. And these were taken from, they're actually taken from an IDS, shown to have been attack IPs possibly, so they weren't false positives. And here is the script. Basically, like I said, you want to have your input file, which would be that text file of IPs, and then you can specify your output file, which we're going to do as CSV. Now, Shodan actually spits out the information in a JSON, but this script will go through that JSON and basically pull out what we need. So first here I'm setting up what I want on the CSV. So we're just labeling the columns here, and then we're gonna loop through and read every single IP in. We're going to use the Shodan download command and send in each of these IPs, and it actually comes back in a compressed JSON, but right here I unzipped it. You don't need to do that. Actually, the Shodan parse feature will go through a compressed JSON, but at the time I was using JQ, which was another parser, so I switched, and once I found out you could parse through Shodan, and basically got the fields that I wanted, which are right here. So we want to get, this is just a subset. You can get a lot of other attributes if you want, but this is for the demo purpose. I just pulled out a few here and there. And so we'll just go ahead and run that. And here's where you specify your input files. So I'm doing IPs, and then we'll call the output file output, label it as CSV. Alright, so it just starts reading in one IP line by line as it goes through, and it's pretty quick. I did about 10,000 IPs at once, and that took roughly 4 or 5 hours, so better than doing it one at a time via the website. So as you can see here, it basically reciprocates the IP and then tells you the number of results, and of course you have query credits that tells you how many you have left, And so for that 5, here's what the JSON, here's what comes back, and it's just a JSON of all the different information associated. And then what we want to do, what I did is parse through that, and then you get this much neater list of the IPs and all their information. So looks like we got 5 results back from 4 different IPs. This one had 2 ports open, and then there was one that didn't have anything to scan. So you can see the different ports here. That's what Shodan looks for, and the products. So you can see this has OpenSSH. If there's no product, you can kind of infer from the port. So 23, Telnet, and 1723, I believe, is a VPN. I think it's PPTP, point-to-point tunneling protocol. And of course, the organization did a timestamp. ISP, autonomous system, host names, and domains. And for this one, there wasn't any operating systems associated. A lot of times that's the case. So that is about it for the demo. And I'll show also the results of doing 10,000, which I only chose 5 attributes for that. Here, as you can see here along the top. And I believe it was around 14,000 results. This is split among 2 different CSVs. So you can see a lot of things associated with those. Alright, that about does it. Thanks for listening, and I hope that helped.